Okay, dear students, today I am going to speaking something about interference second part. I think interference due to thin films. Usually films are different type. Films with a uniform thickness, films with a wedge shape. Wedge shape means one side it is in contact like this, towards the other side it's go on increasing in height. Okay, so I can show you the same here. This is the interference due to wedge shaped film. If at all the light which it is reflected, you know that in the rainy season normally there will be an wet roads is there. On the wet roads probably you may observing that there is an shining surface of the oil. That shining surface of the oil reflects the light due to the multiple reflection. So the films of the thin film due to oil, it varies in not at all in a uniform shape. It varies the thickness. Due to that, there will be an reflection causes. Due to that reflection, multiple reflected rays are going to be collected by our eyes, so that it will illuminates with a different colors, and that's why those colors are normally non-uniform surface of the oil. So the why this oil's surface is illuminated with the different colors, usually not only this, you observe in the mica sheet, when it is shines with the light, it appears to be different colors. These colored bands observed are not due to reflection, are not due to dispersion phenomena. It is only the case which the interference can explains the phenomena. Usually, let us consider AB and AC is a wedge shape of thin film. Now the thickness of the film, you observe that it go on increases towards the BC. From A, it is very small angle, theta. Let me have as an angle between AB and AC, wedge shape of film having the theta. Now the illuminate, the thickness is going to gradually increasing towards the BC. Now, let me have as the light which is I have shown here, it incident at R, and naturally it reflects, it refracts, and after refraction it will be reflects. When the case which is going to be some portion, it causes the multiple reflections and the emergent beam will be goes towards the above the AB phase. And what happens, let me show in the figure. Let ABC be the wedge shaped film of refractive index neta. In some cases it may be n, it may be also, and n is the refractive index. Okay, now sometimes it may be neta, you may call as, or it may be an refractive index is indicated by mu also. However, you can choose as your notations. Usually what I have taken here is normally it is neta is the refractive index, or mu you may consider it as a mu having a very small angle theta at A. As I have shown in the earlier figure, this is at A point a small angle theta in between AB and AC. For example, you take the two glass pieces. One is on the table, another is inclined. When it makes an inclination, the angle theta is to be made. Like that, the angle which is going to be get as theta at A as shown in the figure. If a parallel beam of monochromatic light is allowed to fall on the upper surface, and the surface is viewed by the reflected light. You fix the some microscope on the inclined surface, you will be able to get the reflected beam. Okay, and viewed by the reflected light. Then the at that situation, you can observe through the microscope an alternative dark and bright fringes. And now once we observe like this, consider a point P. Somewhere the point P, I think it is as shown in the figure, this is at the P point, this is at R. The thickness between this is T. So in accordance with that, when the thickness of the film is T, when light is incident normally, the reflect total, when the light is incident normally, that means as I have shown in the figure, normal incidence means light falls to this AB like this. As I have indicated the arrow, light falls from top. Okay, so normal incidence total path difference between the light reflected at R from the upper surface AB plane and that reflected at the P from the lower surface of AC is, there must be a path difference. How much is the path? For example, if you take a beam like this, if you take a beam like this, and there is a this P2 reflected light is there from lower surface, it is a more path, and the light which is at the, from R reflex is, from R it reflects is very small path. And now the difference between these two paths will be given by the expression 2 neta t minus lambda divided by R. How you get it 2 neta t, we'll have to explain later. In the next class, I can explain how you get it 2 neta t minus lambda by 2. Why you have taken the minus lambda by 2? Always the Stokes law says that any light which it reflects, the path difference between the two beams should have the path is path difference will be lambda by 2. That means incident beam having a some phase, reflected beam is having a another phase. How much path difference in between them? The between these two beams, the lambda by 2 is the path, extra path, it has to be counterbalance, so that this is a path difference minus due to the reflection lambda by 2 is to be subtracted, extra path is there, we have to subtract minus lambda by 2 as the path difference of the lambda by 2 is produced. It is an extra path. You may think as when you take the this one extra path, this extra path is lambda by 2 is produced in the reflected beam from the upper surface of AB at R, where reflection takes place at the surface of the denser medium. Then naturally the point P will appears at a dark band. By chance at the P point there is a dark band is there. Okay, will be observed across the wedge. Naturally the expression will be 2 neta theta t. Angle is theta in between them, so that 2 neta theta t minus lambda by 2 is equal to dark band expression. Earlier we have already known. Anywhere the path difference, dark band is observed, there must be an odd number multiples of the half the wavelength. Odd number means there also n is taken. Here I have taken m. Make the difference between wavefront concept is always it in terms of integrals is n, integral value. But in case of this, in case of the amplitude division, wherever n place is there, I have chosen as a m. M is any integral value, 2m plus 1. That means odd number. You know that if you take a m is some value 0, 1, 2, 3. If you take 1, 2 ones are 2 plus 1, 3. Okay. If it is 0, it will be 0 and it is only 1. 1, 3, 5, 7. Odd numbers. They are odd number multiples of the lambda by 2. And so the above equation minus lambda by 2 is taken to the other side. 2 neta t into theta is equal to 2 is common. Lambda by 2 is taken it outside. M plus 1 into lambda by 2. That means this minus becomes as a plus. And so the m plus 1 into lambda, or else it is m lambda. M lambda means it's also an integral value. Here, m is an integer, hence m plus 1 is also an integer. Okay, and there you get it in the earlier slide. Probably it is m plus 1 is there. So instead of taking m plus 1, we take as it is m. So the value of this equation, whatever equation we have expressed, is we got it as a, instead of m plus 1, you have to take as a m lambda. Now here m is, P will be appears dark, and dark band will be observed across the wedges 2n theta t minus, so we got it a same equation 1. Now the equation 2, here m is an integer, hence m plus 1 is also an integer. M plus 1, m plus 2, m plus 3, they are all integers. Okay, m is any integral value. You add with the 1, 2, 3, likewise you will get the same. Next number you have to be considered as, can also be taken as an integer if theta is very small. The case in which earlier drawn diagram, you will be observing that theta is in between AC and AB. AC and AB, theta becomes very small, and definitely t is equal to x1. At a point of x1 we have get it. Therefore equation 1 and 2 can be, we have that 2 neta x1, wherever t is there, that means x1 is there, you have to take t as a x1. 2 neta into x1 theta is equal to m lambda. This is equation number 3. Now if by chance there are go on counting the dark fringes to next. That means, for example, if you have a 10th fringe, dark fringe, you will go to the 11th fringe, you will go to the 12th fringe, you will go to the 13th dark fringe. I am only writing the expression for dark fringe only. Okay. Now, if case is that if there is a kth fringe next to the, after getting into the expression for the particular fringe, you go to the kth fringe. K may be any number. K may be 1, K may be 2, or K may be 3. Okay, K may be 3. And naturally, what we have got it is, the expression is, it itself says that if by chance the kth fringe is at x2. Now if x2 is the distance of the m plus kth, after getting into mth fringe, you go on adding next to next, you go on adding the dark fringes. If by chance m plus kth fringe will be at x2, how many fringes is there? K number of fringes will be counted. Dark bands or a dark fringes. 2 neta x2 theta is equal to m plus k into lambda. From the equation 3 and 2, we have that. Take the difference between fourth equation to third equation. 2 neta theta, common factor, take it outside. x2 minus x1 is equal to k lambda. x2 minus x1, that means k to the taken to this side, 2 neta theta is taken to the right hand side. So x2 minus x1 divided by k, that this itself will gives the fringe weight. How many fringes is there? K number of fringes. If it is a k equal to 1, k equal to 1 means m plus 1. If it is k equal to 2, m plus 2 it is. Okay, so that K2 minus x2 minus x1 divided by k equal to lambda divided by 2 neta theta. And naturally, we got it as a fringe width beta equal to x2 minus x1 upon k. From the equation 5, we have that x2 minus x1 divided by k equal to lambda divided by 2 neta theta. Similarly, equation is also holds good for the bright fringes. Not only it is dark fringe, always interference takes place with the equal width of the fringes. The case which we get it is similar to all other remaining fringes also. So what we get it is the expression is this expression holds good for the bright fringe also. Now, if T1 is the thickness of the film at P, T2 is that the at Q, thickness of the film is at Q, and K is the number of bands observed between these points. Then we know that theta is the angle. Theta is the angle is given by the arc divided by that distance. So the theta is taken here, x2 is here. So what I have modified, first I have taken the distance x2 is equal to, it is T2 is the arc made by the angle divided by that angle, theta. So this will give the x2 distance proportionate. If you go to the next point, it will be something different. It's not T2, it's a T1. So x1 is equal to T1 upon theta. So x2 minus x1 is equal to K2 minus theta. And naturally, the expression will be substituting this into the fifth equation. We have that it is a seventh equation. We got it. And so that the same equation 7, sixth equation, whatever earlier we got it, in that we can substitute T2 minus T1 divided by k is there. Extra an angle theta is to be added in the denominator equal to lambda divided by 2 neta theta. Theta, both the sides, left hand side and right hand sides are cancelled. T2 minus T1 equal to k, this k in the left hand side taken to the numerator, k lambda divided by 2 neta. And definitely the thickness of the air film, difference between the 2 points will depends on the how many fringes is to be observed between those 2 points, lambda wavelength and the refractive index. And this is all about the wedge shape of thin film. Once we got the thin film wedge shape, and straight away I can use the same expression to the Newton's ring. You know that Newton's rings experiment. It's a very simple experiment. Maybe settings are much more, but you might have to have the all fringes observed in the Newton's rings. It is mainly due to this phenomena. When the plano-convex lens of focal length is placed on the glass plate, that means take a plano-convex lens, curved surface is towards the glass plate, right? Do not make the plane surface towards the glass, plain glass plate. Towards that side, you should not keep the the plano convex lens a plane surface. Towards the glass piece, you have to place the like this curved surface of the film is to be touched. Okay, so when a plano convex lens of focal length is placed on the glass plate, a thin film of air is enclosed between the lower surface of the lens and upper surface of the lens. Now the thickness of the air film is very small because it gradually thickness is going to increasing towards the outer edge, okay, of the lens. The thickness of the air film is very small at the point of contact. Point of contact means it is 0. Angle is at the point of contact is 0. When goes towards the edge side, it's go on increasing in the thickness, okay, gradually increases from the center outwards, center to outwards, it increases. The fringes are produced with a monochromatic light or circular fringes. The fringes are like a concentric circle. As you, while doing the experiment, you have been observed all these Newton's rings experiment fringes. The fringes on the concentric circles uniform in thickness and with a point of contact at the center. At the center, it is a point of contact. When viewed with a white light, the fringes are colored. Instead of using monochromatic light, if you keep the source is a composite source, when you keep the composite source, you cannot expect the dark and bright fringes. Instead of dark and bright fringes, the fringes with a chromatic source. Chromatic means it is a composite source. When you observe through the Newton's rings with the same experimental setup, the rings are, instead of dark and bright, the colored monochromatic fringes will be observed. Colored fringes will be observed. The bright and dark circular fringes are produced in the air, and it is not due to like Newton's ring. It is, and it's not due to anything. Lens and plain glass plate cannot produce the fringes. The fringes are produced the lower surface of the lens in touch with a plain glass plate. There is a wedge type of air film is produced. That edge type of air film is responsible for causing the Newton's rings. Sometimes in the experiment, they can ask how you get it these rings. Naturally, you are answering that lens is responsible, glass plate is responsible. It's not lens and glass plates. There is an air gap between in between curved surface of the lens and a plain glass plate has been created. That air gap is responsible for causing the Newton's rings. Let us, the experimental setup, I think, S be the source of monochromatic light, which is placed at a principal focus of the lens L. A horizontal beam of light falls. I can show the diagram first now. Now this is what the case which you have been observing the Newton's rings experimental setup. Light from the source, it incident on the converging achromatic combination of the lens. The parallel beam which is produced horizontally, it incident on the glass plate. When it incident on the glass plate, this glass plate is exactly made at 45 degree, and now the beams will be reflecting towards the Newton's rings setup. Which is the Newton's rings setup? Newton's rings system is this one. Newton's rings system. There is a convex lens and convex surface, curved surface is there. It is in touch with this glass plate. Now the light which is going to be falling on this gap, it causes the multiple reflections. What is multiple reflection? Let us in the next topic, I can discuss much more about multiple reflections now. Now the light which it falls in the air gap, it causes the multiple reflection and reflects. Now I have shown the double arrows towards the Newton's ring system. After refraction, it will be reflected back due to the multiple reflection. When it reflected back, it will passes through this plano 45 degree glass slab, and then it reaches the microscope. And whatever I have explained in the earlier chart, it is the same thing. In this, whatever slide is there, entirely what I have explained. Okay. And now the reflected beam from the air film is viewed with a microscope. The interference takes place and the dark and bright circular fringes are produced. This is due to interference between the light reflected from the lower surface of the lens and upper surface of the glass plate. Do not think that the top surface cannot have any role. Whatever light incident, it normally incident, it doesn't causes any multiple reflection. When it falls here, it makes a certain angle to the incident beam because it is a curved. So the multiple reflection happens and then it reflects. Okay, this is what the case is going to happen. Now, according to that, so what we have observed, the interference takes place and dark and bright fringes, circular fringes are present. This is due to interference. Rather, it doesn't having any relation with diffraction or reflection or refraction. It is purely based on the interference phenomena, Newton's rings. It is mainly due to why it is happening. It's the air gap between glass plate and the lower surface of the plano convex lens is responsible to cause this phenomena. Okay, this is what I have already given in the explanation. Let us consider vertical section of the now this is what the actual case theory. I am going to discussing on the theoretical background. This is your lens. If you continue the same, it will be formed as just like it is a circle. Okay, and now the bottom, which is going to be your glass plate. It is a glass plate which I can showing you. Now the edge points of the lens is A1. Whatever A is there, you drop a perpendicular, it will be formed at A1. Okay, and this will ends the time. Probably we have to have remaining things in the next class. Okay, probably first I have to finish up with the theory of Newton's rings and concept of Newton's rings. Next I have to go for interference due to uniform sized thin films now. Okay, thank you, one and all. Yes. And you have to unmute and ask the question. You have to make a unmute and ask the question. Anybody you want to have? And otherwise we can upload the in your WhatsApp this entire video. So there also you can chat with me regarding the your Newton's rings experiment. You have to make the unmute. Unmute is there. You make the mute is there. Unmute it, and any questions you can ask. Okay. I won't hear whatever you want to have it, but the thing is that better we go for next hour regarding the completion of the theory of Newton's rings, and then a uniform size width of the thin films, how we get the interference phenomena. Okay, due to uniform thickness, uniform size of thickness of air film. Next in upcoming classes. Yes. You have to make the unmute. Ask to unmute is there. You make yourself unmute, and any doubts is there. Another 6 to 7 minutes is there. You have to ask the question. Otherwise, video is uploaded in your to you, and with that link, you first once again repeatedly observe the video, and then ask the question. Okay. Anybody, nobody is going to be having as a starting with me. Unmute is there. Ask to unmute, you keep it. Make yourself unmuted and then ask. Another 6 minutes is left. Angdi, unmute it and tell me something about the clipping. Huh?
Sir, what is Stokes law, sir?
What is
Stokes law, Stokes law.
Stokes' law says that the whatever light phase incident after reflection, it changes the phase by pi by 2. The phase changes by pi. Any wave, incident wave and the reflected wave out of phase by pi, which is equivalent to a path difference of lambda by 2. This lambda by 2 is to be minus, in your expression, 2 eta e into theta minus lambda by 2 is there. That minus lambda by 2 is due to the Stokes law. Incident beam phase and reflected beam phase out of phase, reflected beam changes the phase by pi. This changes the phase by pi is equivalent to a path difference of lambda by 2. This is the Stokes law. Clear? Angdi?
Yes, sir.
Clear ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, sir.
ಮತ್ತೇನ ಕೇಳ್ರಿ. ಇದನ್ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವೆಜ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಆಗಿಂದಾಗ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಥಿಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಎರಡು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಬರ್ತಾವು, ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಇದು ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಮುಗಿದಿಂದ, ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ಸ್ ರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಮುಗಿದಿಂದಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಅವಾಗ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಮುಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ಸ್ ರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮುಗಿತದೆ. ಅದು ಮುಗಿದಿಂದಾಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ Michelson's interferometer. I think that is the last topic you had it in your is Michelson's interferometer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. Thank you. I am going to closing it now.